I'm still getting static. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Morning Show Central Radio Network. Today's episode of Unlocked Radio, we're going to be doing first-person shooters. Don't forget to check us out online at unlockedradio.com, Morning Show Central, MSCRadioNetwork.com, morningshowcentral.com/watch. Just go ahead and type in a username. You don't need a password. Just type in a random username. Join us in chat. I got it up here live, so you can interact with the show. Don't forget to check us out at Twitter at Unlocked Radio, youtube.com/Unlocked Radio, etc., etc. You can find us on all the social media networks. Just look for Unlocked Radio. Don't forget to give a shout out to our wonderful, wonderful station, Morning Show Central. After us, we got High on Sports, followed by Everything in Between with Von Erich. All right. And don't forget to check out Lakewood Computers, 14035 Madison Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44107. Call them toll-free at 855-580-0768. If you're in need of computer repairs, just want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computers in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, they've been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. They purchase and sell pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment. They offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner and cartridges. In addition to cost-effective computers and computing products, they also provide service and repairs for HP LaserJet printers and a complete menu of personal as well as commercial computer repairs. With over 29 years of professional experience, they are highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at www.joeslakewoodcomputers.com. Also, don't forget to call into the show if you want to interact, get live on the air. We'll listen to your calls, share some input on our beautiful, beautiful first-person shooter perspective. It's 888-668-0742. I think that's right. And joining me tonight, instead of Rio, we have our lovely host, James Schneider. He is currently departing in 6 days to join the Army. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
I worked EMS for a while, just decided to join up. It pretty much fits everything I was doing good for, and just going with it.
All right, and what are they putting you as?
Combat flight medic. Get to go ground thump half the time. Half the time I get to go work in a Black Hawk. Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. All right. And what kind of FPSs have you played?
You got the basic Call of Duties. You got your basic Battlefields. You got Borderlands, stuff like that mostly.
Oh, what's your favorite?
I got to go Call of Duty on that. You can't go wrong.
Call of Duty? All right. Can't go wrong with Call of Duty. Come on, guys. Nazi zombies.
Exactly.
Anyways.
That's where it's at.
All right, so I wanted to go a little bit in depth on how accurate the ranking systems are in these type of games. I wanted to go a little bit into the weapons, how they're comparable back and forth, and I kind of wanted to do a little bit on, armor ratings. Obviously, because it is a video game, there's going to be quite a difference in actual protection of the armor. So let's jump into that one first, on how outrageously exaggerated the armor is in first-person shooters.
I'd have to go with it's very outrageously things. Nothing really stops a lot of bullets at long ranges or short ranges, especially point-blank ranges. Nothing's going to stop it.
Yeah, and a headshot's going to kill you regardless.
Same thing in the game. It can't go wrong again. I mean, headshot, point-blank, one shot, one kill.
Yeah. Knives are definitely the most powerful weapon in the game. How does that correlate, to the armor rating on an actual soldier? Is a knife to the kidney really going to kill you?
No, but it's going to really hurt. It won't kill you right away, but it's going to hurt. Like sneaking up behind people and stuff like that, you got to go with the throat, or it's very fraudulent.
Yeah. No tomahawk across the battlefield, right?
It's unfortunate. It really is.
I mean, that'd be really cool. You just kind of chuck the tomahawk and hope it hits somebody.
Just like winging a grenade in the beginning.
Yeah, your shield does not recharge in actual combat, from what I understand. Never actually been there. I heard respawn is really, really slow. I mean, come on, guys. I understand it's for gaming purposes, and everyone's like, looking for the realism in the game, and that's kind of an issue to me because, all right, everyone's looking for that realism, but no one's actually playing the games that have the realism. A lot of my friends love Halo. I've never seen a plasma pistol in real life.
I despise Halo by far. You can shoot a guy 60 times and he's still alive. He shoots you once and you're dead. I despise that game beyond belief.
Marines, that's my issue with that game.
Marines, not all Marines are bad.
No, I agree. I've had some bad experience with a couple of arrogant Marines. However, I've also met a couple of honorable ones. Just like every branch in the military, you're going to have those arrogant assholes that think they're tough shit because they're in the military. Any experience with those?
Arrogant assholes?
Well, I was kind of aiming more towards the arrogant assholes in the military, but I'm sure you'll know more about that in a couple weeks.
You meet your fair share across your life. Everybody's going to be somebody different. But you got to respect them regardless because the fact that they served.
They served, they're serving, they're protecting the country, they're protecting your rights, and they're protecting my right to be on the air saying, fuck it. Anyways, so, but yeah, you got the armor ratings. A lot of games now actually have upgradable armor. I think I think Call of Duty does. You can actually upgrade your armor class. I haven't played any of the Call of Duties other than like Nazi zombies in quite some time. What's your perspective on upgrading armors?
Upgrading armors, you can go from your base level where one shot, one kill, no matter where it hits you, to multiple shots, to you got your flak vest and everything else that protects you against grenades and other items. It's pretty straightforward on most ends. Again, very not realistic, but the theory behind it is quite realistic.
All right. I mean, obviously, you do have different variations of armor. What are some of the armors that you'll be dealing with in real life?
Real life, you got your class 1, your class 2, and your class 3s. Your basic class 1's the smallest one that's going to stop maybe a 9mm at a certain distance, to your class 3, which should stop a 7.226 round, if I recall correctly. But the likelihood of you actually wearing that and being able to be mobile and agile is very slim to none because they're so big.
All right. Well,
and they get heavy, really heavy.
I've heard rumors of lightweight shock liquid armor.
I haven't heard anything about that yet,
right.
No, but they do use a lot of clay discs and plates, along with steel plates that actually have higher end armor ratings with that.
All right. Yeah, I forgot I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was
Dragon Scale is what I believe they nicknamed it.
Yeah. They've come up with a lot of different armors over the past couple of years. A lot of them are still in R&D. None of them, not many of them have been battle tested, including the shock paint that they were using. If you paint a building with it, you can supposedly, blow off a grenade and it won't break the walls. I don't quite understand how that's possible, but physics could be on their side, perhaps. Might have to send that information in to game theory and have them do the actual research, because I'm too lazy to do it. So I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm lazy as shit. Anyways, I didn't really prepare too much for tonight's show. I kind of, got the guest, got the idea going, and then...
So basically you're winging it.
I mean, what else is new? I wing it every week. Rio does the research.
True.
He comes up
That's
with the
true.
information and stuff, and then I just kind of read along with him and throw in my input and sarcastic asshole comments and jokes. I also make fun of Rio a lot, which is going to make this show a lot less streamlined because there's less humor with that.
I just throw a couple Jew jokes in there, you'd be fine.
I mean, I guess I could do that. I mean, why did Jewish women like to do it doggy style? They can't stand to see anyone else having fun. Let's see. How do you get a Jewish girl's number? Look at her arm. All right, I'm a terrible person, guys. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. I'll go with that. All right. So we've covered in a little bit of the armor. Any chance of there being something that could withstand a plasma rifle or plasma pistol or anything like that at some point?
You got to create the firearm before you got to worry about stopping it.
Hey, I feel like it should be the other way around. I feel like you should be able to stop something that doesn't exist before you come up with something. But I guess that's part of the supply and demand. You got to create something that can penetrate the current armor, and then build an armor to stop that, I guess. It's
The better question is, what is the technical definition of plasma?
Well, technically, plasma is, according to the physics scale and chemistry, it's the fourth state of matter. You have your solids, your liquids, your gas, and your plasma. Plasma it can be defined as a somewhat liquid gas, but it also burns and it retains a large quantity of energy, which could be harnessed into kinetic or potential. Well, it's potential as it sits, but firing it, you could potentially put it into a kinetic form to fire it at rapid speeds, similar to a railgun, but with something that could hit you, basically like a water balloon of fire.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's got potential right there. That's got some serious potential.
Yeah. I kind of see that being a little bit more plausible than a laser rifle that can kill you.
Again, it's all what you'd rather shoot,
Handheld railgun shoots a flaming water ball. I like the idea of that definitely has some potential there, especially if you can put some kind of metal spike in it without it, burning. So that way it can actually stick into the opponent, and it's a lot harder to wipe off.
Only if it was red hot. Then you got some cool style right there.
Well, dude, it's gonna get red hot.
Again.
It's we got some potential with that. So let's go into some of the non-Halo style games. Let's go into like Call of Duty, and let's go into some of the weapons and upgrades on that one. What's your favorite weapon? Your favorite firearm?
G3 by far.
G3. All right. What upgrades you run on that?
Your standard. You pull out your iron sights. You put a nice little sight on it. You don't want scopes. Scopes take too long to get into.
Yeah.
And extended mags. Falls, fails, spray and pray, man.
Gotta love that strategy. It's that was always one of my favorites. Either spray and pray, or I take the shotgun and get real close.
Close and personal, man.
Hey, if I'm shooting at you from 5 feet away, I'm gonna hit you, and
it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, you got some dragon's breath in there. You're gonna do some damage. But incendiary rounds aside, because does anyone actually have incendiary rounds? Because I've never seen one fired in real life.
Yeah, they actually exist.
I know they exist. I'm just wondering if anybody I know or any of our listeners have actually fired an incendiary round or have actually been there when it was fired. I'm sure you'll see one sooner or later.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
More than likely, especially if you're spending some time in a Blackhawk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna end up seeing some burn marks on some people. Pull out some shrapnel. It hurts.
Better them than me. It's the age-old saying.
Yeah, but you got the target painted on your helmet.
That is true too. Yeah, that is you are number 2 to get shot at, so there is no doubt about that either.
Yeah.
That's why they decided to hide it from now on.
Oh,
you're actually not marked anymore.
Oh, thank God.
Oh yeah, they started getting intelligent about it. They really did.
Yeah, I you gotta go in. You think you're going to third world countries and stuff? I mean, yeah, NATO has the don't shoot the medic kind of thing going on. But third world countries that aren't part of NATO aren't going to listen to that in the first place.
Nobody plays by the same set of rules.
Yeah, everyone wants their set of rules that, benefit them. And all's fair in love and war.
Or so they say.
I don't know about love. I really don't know much about war either. I've never been in that. But anyways, so real life favorite handgun. Let's go with that.
Real life? You got to
Yeah.
go with the 40 cal, man.
40 cal? I see it.
Distance and power.
See, I was looking at the 50 cal Desert Eagle. I mean, portable 50 cal.
Too much. It's too much to handle. Not many people can fire it, let alone handle it into an accurate form.
Hey, I could probably fire it. I just really doubt that I could be accurate with it.
That's the key is accuracy. Anybody can fire anything. It's the accuracy that comes down to it, man.
See, that's why I go with the 357 typically when I'm, firing a handgun. When it comes to anything ranged, I'm not that great with a rifle unless I have I can't even do a cross sight. I have to do a peep sight. And that is absolutely horrible to anyone that knows what a peep sight is. It is the worst sight you could possibly use on a rifle.
It just blacks out everything.
Yeah, you have a little stick that holding a little ball that blocks the target, and you just kind of cover up the target with that and shoot. And if that's not calibrated right, you're fucked. Because now you can't see your opponent, so you don't know what they're doing. And yeah, that's why cross sights are actually preferred by most marksmen. And
just use a scope like a real man.
Obviously, laser scopes are the way to go. But see,
or you could go with the new age ones with the holographics.
See, I haven't used one of those. I might have to check one of those out.
It's actually really cool. It's like a U put on like a small stick, and it's actually a holograph.
Huh.
Above it, and you actually look down it across your target, and it's usually used on top of a lot of scopes as a backup in case something happens to your laser scope or it burns out or gets hit or something.
Yeah, actually, why have I never thought of that? Shoot someone's scope off the rifle.
But the ability to hit the scope, let alone hoping you're going to hit the scope, is very slim to none.
It depends on if they know I'm there or not, and how far away they are. Of course,
and it depends what they're firing.
Yeah, if they're using a scope, there's a pretty good chance they saw me first.
And that's usually bad news bears waiting to happen.
Yeah, I am by no means an expert marksman with a rifle. I'm fair at best. When it comes to a shotgun, though, I can do some damage and some distance.
Skeet shooting's the best.
Oh yeah, dude. I actually got 49 out of 50 targets the last time I went to the skeet range. I think it was a 50 yard. I was using a 20 gauge, and I used 38 rounds.
Not bad.
49 pigeons with 38 rounds.
Takes a little bit of talent to do that. But you are using a 20 gauge, so that's a lot easier to shoot than most of them.
Yeah, it's got a good spread. My favorite was actually the 12 gauge with the super mag rounds, but apparently I'm not allowed to use that at the skeet range.
It's kind of overkill.
Yeah, well, they like the 20 gauges because they were safe and they were easy to handle, and it was a Boy Scout camp. So I mean, obviously, all right, everyone's you got a lot of little kids trying to shoot a shotgun, and most of them didn't listen, so you had to stand behind them just in case they fell over, because a 12-year-old with a 20 gauge is still gonna fall on his ass.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, me having been I think I was 16 at the time, a 10 gauge or 12 gauge, was no problem for me. It hurt a little bit, it stung, but I was built like a linebacker anyway, so it didn't really matter. I've actually trimmed out and gotten heavier, but I'm not as muscular as I used to be. But yeah, so the 12 gauge was reserved for shooting targets of oven mitt. Yeah, we had a guy at camp that he had a serious issue with the oven mitt thing from Arby's, and he sent a hate mail, and they sent a bunch of pictures of oven mitt and shit.
Oven mitt? What are you talking about?
When Arby's came out with the Market Fresh or whatever, they had the oven mitt mascot guy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What are you talking about with the shooting an oven mitt?
Well, dude sent a hate mail to Arby's, and they sent a box, like a 6-foot long box full of pictures of oven mitt and like giant, posters of oven mitt.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we took them down to the shooting range instead of, making targets and printing out targets. We're like, hey, we have all these cutouts of oven mitt.
Let's use it.
So we used those as targets for the summer, and any kid who didn't want to take their target with them, we'd put it back in the box, and at the end of the summer, we mailed it back to Arby's.
Nice. That's quality.
Yeah, we got in a little trouble for that one. But yeah, the 6-foot tall poster was reserved for me with the 12 gauge. So
there wasn't much left of oven mitt after that.
Dude, we tried to find the confetti pieces from that. It was a nightmare.
I can imagine that one.
Oddly enough, standing about 50 feet away was probably my best shot when I actually blew his entire face out.
Yeah, but at distance, it ranges. I mean, for a shotty, you got to understand, if you don't have a choke on it and it's just a wide spread,
yeah,
when you hit a certain primo distance is where it's going to have the best effect. Shooting close up, you're going to have a very short, narrow spread. So it really depends on your choke on the end of a shotty.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, 20 to 50 feet is where I got my best shots at. Anything further, and it just looked like I put a couple of holes in it with a thumbtack. Any closer, and there was literally just a hole like 3-4 inches in diameter.
Were you shooting birdshot or buck?
I actually have no idea. I just used the ammo they gave me.
My bet would say birdshot. I mean, buckshots, you got bearings that are in there. It's about 4 of them that go out, and it's meant to hurt a deer.
Yeah, it was probably birdshot then, because it was a bunch of little like pellets.
Yeah,
BBs
that's
almost.
birdshot.
So yeah, that would make sense. So let's go and actually, let's follow this conversation. We'll go with shotguns. Various shotguns in first-person shooters.
You got to go with the first-person shooters. You're better off going with the semi-automatic shotties. Real life, you got to go with the pump. There's no better power thrill than jacking around in it with a pump action shot.
See, I haven't actually fired a pump. I've only used semi-autos, and I've used hinge, over-unders, and side-by-sides.
Breakovers?
Yeah. And I mean, I don't like those. It definitely adds something to the effect, but,
But it's really cool when you snap it up and hear that thump.
That's my favorite part about that. I didn't even want to shoot at that point. It's just like, because all right, I get 2 shots and I got to reload. No, what's the point of that? No.
Well,
no.
I mean, most pump actions in the state of Ohio, at least, you have to have a plug in it, so it limits your rounds to 3 rounds per loadout.
Yeah, well, we our semi-autos at the summer camp, we actually had the plug in it. We only had like 3 rounds that we were allowed to load.
Yeah, and then one goes straight in, so you only have 2 spares.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, fine. Technically, we weren't supposed to have more than 1 in the firearm at any given point in time.
Details. You're guys. What are you gonna do?
Staff shootout nights, we had we loaded. Sometimes we'd even take the plugs out. But that was aside from the point. Definitely did a lot of damage to the hills behind the range.
I can imagine, man. I mean, I've shot my fair share of shotties.
Yeah.
And I got to go with the pump in real life.
Yeah.
Breakovers are fun because they're a hell of a lot more accurate, especially over and unders.
Yeah.
But pumps, that can't go wrong.
Yeah, the over-under, at least that way, they're lined up. So the only thing you really have to worry about is, your height. And it's a shotgun, so you don't have to worry too much about that.
And you just got to lead the target a little bit, and guaranteed by the time if you lead it just a hair, you're good to go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to get my hands on a nice little pump. Personal preference for my collection. I just need to have one laying around.
You could go with the old school, and you can go with like a Mossenberg or...
Well, why not go with a 30-30, man? Come on.
30-30?
Yeah.
That's more of a rifle than it is a shot.
Hey, it can fire both.
It is a very multi-use tool. Don't get me wrong.
It is definitely versatile, and getting enough rounds for that thing would not be too bad, especially for a zombie apocalypse. I'm just throwing that one out there.
Hardest part's pretending I'm not excited.
In actuality, guys, we are already in the zombie apocalypse. Walk down the street and see how many people are paying attention to what's around them. Most of them are probably looking at their phones or MP3 players. Actually, I don't even know if many people have MP3 players anymore because phones.
Pretty sure it's all integrated into phones now,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I think everyone just has all the music
Unless you're
on their
incredibly
phone.
poor.
Oh. It's all right, guys. I don't like carrying a massive collection of CDs in my car, so my MP3 player just sits on my,
You're better than me.
ashtray.
I still use CDs in my car.
Yeah, I have an MP3 player with an auxiliary cord and just, yeah.
Well, you're
'Cause-
just a privileged individual now, aren't you?
Hey, it was like $20, man. It's no big deal. Walmart, they have everything. You can get your gun, your MP3 player, and your baby's diapers all in the same place.
And buy food for tomorrow.
Yep. So everyone always wants to go to the Walmart for the zombie apocalypse. Now, anyone who's played a zombie shooter, you want to stay away from crowded areas. You want to stay away from large areas. Yes, Walmart has everything you're gonna need for the apocalypse. However, everyone's going to be going there. How do
Or
you
they're going to
fil-
be dead already.
Yeah,
And you're
how-
not going
how
to
do
have
you-
problems.
Yeah, how do you filter out who's been bitten, who's infected in the Walmart? You can't. It's impossible.
Case in point, no survivors.
No survivors. That's why I have a bunker. I mean, I don't have a bunker. Nobody has a bunker.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Anyways, let's move on to handguns. Your favorite handgun from a video game and why?
You got to go with the MP, machine pistol, man. I mean, it's very versatile. Close up, just light them up behind them. The accuracy for far range sucks, but they're not really meant for long range. They're meant to just light somebody up.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the point of any handgun is you want to be up close with it. Not many of them are built for range.
Some are. It just depends on how you set it up.
Well,
and
like
the
I said, not
elongated
many.
barrels.
Besides, who wants to carry a sidearm, with a long barrel? It's annoying. So you want to use that for close range combat. You want your rifle or your shotty for pretty much. Well, actually, yeah, you just want your rifle. Shotty's probably not.
Shotties are really built to clear houses. What they were originally used
Yeah.
for in the military is to clear houses and clear confined areas.
Yeah, so I mean, not really the type of thing you want to walk into a battlefield with, but certain missions, it's needed. Rifles are always going to be the prime weapon. We'll get into those in a second. Favorite real life handgun?
40 cal Springfield XDM.
All right, yeah.
22 stack, man.
See, I go with the 357 Ruger, man. Can't go wrong with that.
I like the 22 stack versatility. You have copper jacketed and you have your hollow points. Every other round, by the time you empty one of those mags, it's either they're dead or you're in a serious firefight and it's really hitting the fan.
And you shouldn't be using a pistol.
No, you'd be surprised what happens in the hood, man. You really would. After working repo,
Yeah, trust me, man. I've spent some time out in Maple Heights with my job, and needless to say, my first month there, I think there was 3 deaths within like a quarter mile of my work.
when I worked in EC for EMS, man, we had a hospital known as Knife and Gunshot a Day. Keeps the doctor away.
That keeps the doctor paid.
Oh, that doctor made buco bucks, man.
See, I need to get a job over there. I could easily work the ER. Stitch up a knife wound, pull out a bullet. I'm good.
Yeah, until you got
Seconds.
guts hanging out, then it just becomes more complicated.
Just push them back in. Duct
This
tape.
won't hurt, man.
Just duct tape it.
Super glue actually works the best.
People keep telling me that, but I can't say no to duct tape. Super glue, I might get my fingers sticky, and then I gotta put the cap back on. There's a lot of problems. Duct tape, just good.
Yeah, super glue, all you do is you pull the cap off, stick it together, nice little thin streak, go, and it's dry, and it stays together like it should. And then it actually pushes out the glue when it heals up on its own. It's pretty cool.
Well, they got a couple bullets now that'll actually rip out your entrails.
Yeah, the copper jacketed or your hollow points have a tendency to go in like a dime and come out like a $50, so
Yeah.
to speak.
In like a dime out like a cash register.
There you go.
As some people have said. I've actually I saw barbed rounds a couple weeks ago when I was looking around online. Someone had a picture of them. Apparently, as it fires, it breaks apart and creates a barb that if it sticks into anything, like you can't pull it out forward. You have to push it all the way through. So
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's not meant to pass through you. It's meant to stop in you, and it hooks everything.
And it hurts.
So
they got the fragmented rounds too that'll actually break apart upon entry.
Yeah.
And that just shreds anything that it hits, and that's some serious damage.
Yeah, that's borderline long range shotgun damage.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
better them than me.
They've got a lot of really cool rounds out there now, guys. Nowadays, high velocity rounds. You've got scatter rounds. Lot of work with hollow points recently. I've seen a lot more in production.
It's more like it's being released to the civilian public versus being kept on one side of the military background or the police issue standard. Same thing with assault weapons. It's the whole big deal of people saying, "Oh my God."
Well, yeah, like they sell fully automatic AKs with the fully automatic feature disabled, and apparently people are having, some gun rights activists are having like a bitch fit, like, you can't limit our guns, and other people are like, no, we're not limiting your guns, we just don't want a semi-automatic on the market.
See, technically you can own a fully automatic weapon. You have to have a class, I believe, 2 or 3 gun permit to own it.
Yeah.
And then you can fire it and do whatever you want. You just have to go to specialized ranges for it. And there's, again, nothing wrong with owning it. I have no kicks. People just need to realize that you just got to go through the proper channels to make it happen.
Exactly.
Just like they say you can't own silencers. That's also BS.
Yeah, silencers, they're great for some things, and in most cases, in a civilian population, they are borderline unnecessary.
It's still fun to play with.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, at this point, there's sport shooting, there's hobby shots, there's actual home protection. You have a lot of different uses for guns, a lot of different reasons for it, and a lot of people out there are bitching and arguing there shouldn't be guns. Guns are bad, and bad people get guns and they hurt people. Okay, well, you agree with me on this because we've actually had conversations on it in the past. If someone pulls a gun and it's illegal to have one,
let's start with where's the situation that this gun is being brandished, openly seen. So in case you don't understand,
say like for example the school shootings. All right, guy breaks into a school with a gun.
Okay, the better question is A, how did this gentleman obtain the gun? B, is he underage? Because I believe most school shootings are underage individuals.
Typically,
and C, if they are the parents' weapons, why are not the parents locking them up in proper gun-safe material?
Exactly.
Or putting trigger mechanisms on something.
It's not having the gun that's the issue. It's the responsibility of having the gun that's the issue. And
yes.
That's something that definitely gets me.
And it's the gun owner's problem. If it's your firearm, it's your job to take care of it. It's your job to know where the heck it is.
And it's your job to educate your children, if you have any, on proper gun safety.
If you choose to do so. If not, that's totally up to you. I have no against it. But if you're not going to do it, then you put it in a gun safe so your child or individual cannot get a hold of it.
Exactly.
And then you don't have problems like we keep having. I mean, it's not the gun that's the issue. It's the responsibility that people fail to take.
Yeah, and a lot of the people against guns are their biggest selling point is, well, they should be illegal because bad people hurt people with guns. Yeah, okay, make guns illegal. Guess what? Weed's illegal too. And how many people do you see with those?
Well, the better question is, have you been down to East Cleveland lately? I could go buy a Mac 10 if I wanted to. It's really not that hard. You just got to go find somebody.
In Akron, they actually have a store that sells Maz Nagats. Like, really?
It's not that hard to get a hold of the firearm. It's just, and taking it away from the people that are law-abiding citizens. It's no bueno.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing against registering my firearms. However, I did have a serious issue when Congress was trying to pass the law that you had to register how much ammunition you had.
Can we test that theory? Send an intern down there to see if we can buy one.
I'm actually okay with that. Which one are we gonna send?
We'll send Mark.
Send Mark? All right, yeah, we'll send Mark down over there. We'll track down where these markets allegedly are, and we'll see if we can get one of these.
Just go down to East 142nd, and Kinsman is a good place to start.
How did I know it was gonna be around Kinsman?
Just past experience there.
Yeah. Having worked in repo, yeah, I'm sure he understands a lot about where to find a lot of things that you're not supposed to have.
It was fun.
Yeah, you have to track down people who have things they're not supposed to have, so you have to know where they got it, so you have to find them.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing better. It's like playing Where's Waldo in Cleveland.
And everyone loves Where's Waldo.
Only he never wears the stripes. It's very unfortunate.
You know what? I think I'm just going to get something and, not pay for it and have the repo guy come find me, and I'm going to wear glasses, a hat, and a striped sweater.
If I was that guy, I'd just have to laugh. I'd giggle.
It's like,
I'd still take your car.
It's like, all right, you found me. here's the keys. I mean, come on, guys. All right, well, I guess we're off to break. Stay tuned in the second half. I'm going to have some more random questions out there, and we'll talk a little bit more on gun rights and such like that. Wow, this is usually Rio's part. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Stay tuned. We'll be back in about 6 minutes.
Something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768.
I know. Oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious, I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more.
I can almost taste it.
Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
Oh, wow. Language.
Okay, he was PMSing.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. Yo, it's Woody. Now, I know a thing or two about women, and I want to help all the ladies out there take care of their men. Happy Endings Orgasmically Organic Massage Oil. Yeah, I said orgasmically organic, made right here in Cleveland. Now, no other product delivers this level of purity and performance. It's guaranteed to improve your overall experience and keeps that sensitive skin soft and smooth. Guys, don't be a tool. You're doing it anyway. Might as well do it right. Get your happy ending at happyendingsoil.com. That's happyendingsoil.com. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits, a 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. Oh, great. Not another Farm Bill request. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/morningshowcentral. Denying one Farm Bill request at a time. If you have a product or service, let people know about it. Get your message out there and advertise on MSC Radio Network. It's easier than you think, and the whole planet is listening. Find out how you can advertise. Email Chris at morningshowcentral.com.
MSC Radio Network has just tweeted the following. This bowel movement won't come out.
Check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/MSC Radio Network. User-friendly and ready to serve. morningshowcentral.com. Call the show toll-free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com.
This is President Barack Obama, and you're listening to MSC Radio Network.
Pete P99 Technologies.
Affordable and reliable web hosting done right.
Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating.
Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers.
That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999,
P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider.
its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee.
No questions asked.
For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence.
With honest and expert customer service.
P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. With hundreds of live weather products and layers and thousands of combinations, Weather Studio provides a professional graphics and storm monitoring solution without complex user knowledge and without the industry standard price tag of $1,000 plus broadcast systems. Weather Studio displays a plethora of critical atmospheric and geophysical data on an interactive GIS-enabled computer map. Get your free 14-day trial of Weather Studio at their website, weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. That's weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more,
Guitar Center has you covered.
Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade.
With the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area.
They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningshowCentral.com uses them.
You should too.
Need to know more?
Go to guitarcenter.com.
Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
Welcome back. All right, before the break, we talked a lot about a bunch of random stuff, including armor in FPS games versus in real life, pistols, shotguns. We didn't actually get into rifles too much. However, we can probably do that. And then we ranted about gun rights for a little bit, which, again, who cares? No, everyone really cares about guns for some reason. And you're either for them, against them. There's a couple people out there that are neutral, oddly enough. But yeah, here we are back. Thinking about talking a little bit more about hand-to-hand style and other weapons, like, swords, knives, machetes, etc. So let's get into that. Favorite game when it comes to hand-to-hand combat?
You got to go with Skyrim or Oblivion. They're pretty classic when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. You got your swords, you got your javelins, you got your, well, not quite hand-to-hand, but still archaic in explanation, I guess you could say would be archery. Stuff like that. Maces as well.
More of the medieval style. Because a lot of games, for some reason, they like to either focus on the future and a lot of technologically advanced things. And,
especially for RPGs.
Yeah. Or they focus on medieval times. So you go back and forth with that. Honestly, the Elder Scrolls saga is phenomenal when it comes to a lot of weapons. I actually into the Fable saga quite a bit. Probably because that's my most extensive and area. It's my area of expertise, I guess, because those are the games I've played the most, in depth and blown through. Magic aside in those games, though, very, very good. Same thing with Skyrim. A lot of the other Elder Scroll games, a little slower paced for me. Combat sequence a little off. However, the weapon systems on that are phenomenal. And again, a lot of those, actually all those weapons really existed. So we can go into some of those.
You fall into a gray area with some of those weapons, though, because you feel that when you mix the magic with the weapon itself, it becomes a non-existent entity itself.
Yeah, and that's kind of partially why I aimed like more towards Fable, where the weapons just basically had an attack rating, and that was about it. No magic abilities, none of that stuff. So that was kind of, more my pace. However, even in first-person shooters, a lot of times they will have hand-to-hand combat. They will have your melee attacks. You can have your knife, your tomahawk, et cetera, et cetera. Last stand ability, which is great when you knife someone in the ankle and they die and you get back up.
You could go back to the Borderlands, where you got to fight for your life, is so to speak, back to a first-person shooter again.
Yep.
You got to kill somebody to make it out alive.
Yep. Once you're dead, you have one last shot to get back up and keep going, which never happens in real life. You get shot and you're bleeding out. Killing someone doesn't make you get back up.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot more fun in life.
Yeah. I think life would also be a lot better with respawn points.
Respawn points?
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before those things happen.
Probably, yeah. There was the movie Symbiote, I think was what it was called, where they actually had like their cybernetic bodies, and if you died in that thing, you could, just get a new one, whatever. So you never had to leave your house. You could actually just live your daily life in a robot.
Oh, you're talking about that one with Bruce Willis?
Yeah. Yeah.
Quality movie.
Obviously, things went bad, but we'll divert from that for the time being, at least. But yeah, so you have with your various hand-to-hand combats, you have your heavy weapons. You're looking at axes, battle axes. You're looking at hammers, giant great swords. Then you have your smaller weapons. You have your katanas. You have trying to think of some other weapons. Small maces.
Maces could be big or little.
Depending,
your swords, you can either have small swords or larger swords. The larger ones were more Scottish style. The smaller ones were more British style or Japanese style, depending if you want to go to the very small with the katanas and samurais. Maces were very medieval style, but they usually had spikes on them because they decided they were more deadly. The original maces were created in the Roman era, believe it or not, for the gladiators. Yeah, if I recall correctly,
it was basically just a giant ball that you'd hit someone with, and that was very effective because it would damage the armor, break bones, whatever.
Blunt object, so to speak.
However, throwing a spike on that adds a little bit of brutality because now it can rip armor, it can grab onto things, it can tear flesh.
It's beautiful.
It definitely made a huge difference there. You even have your games like Assassin's Creed, where you have firearms and swords. You have your I forgot what the
hidden blade.
Yeah, the hidden blades. You've got scythes. You've got a lot of different hand-to-hand combats that you can use. Different weapons. For me, in real life, my best weapon is probably a longsword. I am definitely best when it comes to a longsword because I'm not the fastest guy. I'm not the strongest guy, so obviously, giant swords are not going to be my best friend. However, I need to have that reach to try to keep the little guys away. The fast guys need to stay away from me, so I need to be able to move around, but I can't really flow seamlessly with that. And there's actually a lot of games that really take the different weapon into effect. Fable did a little bit. Monster Hunter is actually one of the best games when it comes to the speed of your attack based off of your weapon.
Skyrim also did a lot of that. Depending the bigger weapon, the slower the attack ratio was. It does more damage, but you're slower with it. I'm more of the guy with the mid-range with the sword, or a battle axe, so to speak, a very smaller hand-to-hand one. Very effective. Does exactly what it's supposed to do. You can get up in their face and do what you need to do, call it a day at the office, and move on.
Yeah, it definitely gets the job done. Like I said, I can't really get too close to people because I'm not very fast. And if someone does get inside my guard, I need to be able to push them back. And I also need to have like a small sidearm, like a dirk. Personal preference, in real life. When it comes to games, though, I usually go the bigger the better. Except for with Monster Hunter, because of how intricate their ratio to speed to power is. The bigger the weapon, obviously the slower you're going to swing it because you do have a limit on strength. You are not a god. You do not have unlimited power. Therefore, heavier weapon, harder to swing. It's going to take you a little bit more time to whip it around. With that, I actually go dual blades because, basically looking at like hook swords, small things like that are really, really quick and agile. They don't slow your run down at all because they're don't really have much weight to them. They're 10, 15 pounds apiece. And again, the Elder Scroll games, they covered that very, very well. They did a beautiful job with their mapping on that. The one thing I believe they left out, I think Skyrim might actually have it, was the sharpness of your weapon.
Yes.
Was also an was
you
also
could hone
separate.
the edge of your weapon. Stronger, more attack, more blood damage, or bleed out damage, as you'd like to call it. Very excellent in that. They also did very good with really showing the differences between larger weapons, medium-sized weapons, and smaller weapons. Putting the magic abilities aside, it was actually very seamlessly seamlessly put together between the shield blocking and still taking damage regardless of if you were blocking or not with your armor, and still being able to swing right after you were able to block. And there was a really good combo that you really had to learn, and it took some practice to learn.
It did take some finagling to try to figure out the best way to combo into blocks and stuff like that. A lot of games, Elder Scrolls aside. All right, I actually have someone in the chat. Unfortunately, I can't read it because my screen resolution is way too low. I have no idea what happened to this. Anyways, I apologize to whoever's in chat. I can't even tell who it is because the green font is really, really hard to read on the screen. But with the Elder Scroll games aside, a lot of games had a serious issue with their blocking. You could block, but then to move into an attack, you actually had to lower the guard, wait for it to drop, and then attack. Elder Scrolls allowed you to be able to roll from the block into the attack. So if I want to stab, I can have my sword behind my shield, and as soon as that shield is just out of the way of the blade can come out, shield's still in front of me.
Much like what the Spartans did with their shield walls. Very excellently done.
Yeah, the phalanx.
Phalanx.
Yeah. It's my pronunciation's always terrible, guys. I read a lot, but I don't really talk to people with big words. Another problem with the modern day and age and our zombie apocalypse that's currently going on. But yeah, so we go in, blocking and attacking at the same time, or shifting from one to the other. A lot of games did a really, really bad job with that.
Dual wielding is another issue that most games they can't provide it because it doesn't exist. It's very hard to be able to master in itself alone, but it's also harder to even be able to put a complex thing like that in the game and being able to handle it and be able to seamlessly match two things moving at once and actually either A, be realistic, or B, so far out of the realm that it doesn't exist.
Yeah, and that's actually why in a lot of games I pick, bigger, heavier weapon because, okay, yeah, a two-handed weapon, I don't get a shield, but if I'm just attacking nonstop, it's actually easier than blocking and then trying to shift into an attack in most games. With the Elder Scroll games, including the, I don't know if you've actually gotten in on the Elder Scrolls Online beta test that's going on.
No, but I have read quite a bit about
waves. I've heard a lot of complaints about the story on it, unfortunately.
The story should be the least of their issues. Should be really looking at the game context itself.
Yeah, well, with any MMO, you're looking at especially MMORPGs, like World of Warcraft, etc. You're looking at a lot of the PvP. You're looking at the combat sequence. That's what most people are looking for. When it comes into the storyline, that's what you get the RPGs for. That's why you would buy Skyrim or Oblivion or Neverwinter Nights, any of those type of games. If you want the story, that's where you go. The combat sequence is the main thing they need to focus on, and apparently they're actually doing pretty decent with that. Dual wielding is actually a skill you have to learn.
See, in Skyrim, it was an automatic given. I believe, if I recall correctly from playing it, that it was an automatic given. But again, it's something you have to learn how to play in the game itself.
It was something you could do, but you had to learn how to do it.
And do it right.
Exactly.
Or you're dead.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe dual wielding actually had a skill tree that you could build up your ability to dual wield, so that you could dual wield bigger weapons,
better weapons.
Yeah. So instead of hey, I got a dirk and a shield, guess what? Now I've got
two swords,
or I've got a sword and a small axe, or things like that. So it made it more realistic doing it that way. I'm still looking for a game like an RPG style game that really does a good job with the leveling on its own of each skill. When it comes to like skating games, you guys remember Tony Hawk, you had to get the upgrade points, you could upgrade whatever. But then Project 8 came out, and whatever you did more often, that got better. So I feel like it's really rare to find a game where that actually works.
But it's more realistic because it's more based on you practice this skill, you practice this skill. It works out really well. But if you don't use this one that much, then you're not going to be that good at it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like skateboarding. If you practice your ollie, chances are you're going to be pretty good at it.
Yeah, but if you never manual, you're not going to be able to manual.
Exactly. And I think that's an excellent thing. And it should be a forward-backward kind of situation.
Yeah.
You use something for a while and say, ooh, I want to try this instead. And you're whacking away at this way, some style. And you start to lose, you build up one skill tree and you start to lose another. So it should always be a value of give and take in everything.
Yeah, I actually never even thought about, taking away from something if you practice another thing, So, yeah, that's actually a really good point. But yeah, like fighting games, a lot, first-person style games, when you're out there and, you upgrade things on a skill tree as you level, I really wish it was more of what you do the most, you're better at. And then certain things require certain things, like certain skills. So, say this boss, you need to be able to dual wield because he's, slow and you want to be able to deal a lot of attacks real quick.
But high amount of health.
And then, yeah, so you want to, hit hard and fast. Say another boss, you need to have, you need to be able to block a lot because he's constantly attacking you. So I feel like, that's something that you'd have to, round your abilities off, but without using a skill tree. I want to see that leveling like that, and to be able to, to lose some abilities as you're gaining some. I feel like that'd be another great way to go because.
But the thing is with skill trees, though, is people always want to be able to specialize their character. I mean, you go all the way back to one of the first MMOs. You could go back to Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but
Final Fantasy, you could actually create a character, go all the way through the levels, then reset him into a new character in itself, in its own entity, and start a brand new skill tree, which was really cool. I mean, World of Warcraft, when I was playing, they started out with one skill tree that was all you could do. And by the time you hit the end, you got one special ability. Yay! And that was it. Then they create out with this dual spec kind of situation where you could switch back and forth. So when I was playing, you could play like, what was it? You could do a special healing priest, and then you could do a shadow priest and just kill everything in the process and switch back and forth. Very excellent idea. Very good. But people are always going to want to go back and forth, or they're always going to want to be that special thing that they can go all the way into.
Yeah. Well, if you ask me on that, that's why I make second characters in a lot of games. Is I want that a bit. I want to have be able to switch back and forth. However, I feel like it's cheap to like level one character using a longsword. So okay, my longsword proficiency is phenomenal. I'm great with two-handed weapons. Level my skill tree for dual wielding, and then just jump over to that, and it's like, all right, well, now I'm loaded that way. But having a game,
so you want to be able to earn it. You don't want to be able to have it handed to you.
Yeah,
is what you're looking for.
I want to actually practice the skills to get better with them, not use a skill tree to get better. And
so you want to essentially eradicate the skill tree and based all on your actions within the game itself.
To me, that feels more real. And again, I brought up the realism with FPSs versus real life. There's a serious issue, and everyone always says they want the real game, but they don't play it. Well, I feel like that's the same thing with all RPGs. Really, is that you're looking for that realism. You want something close to real life, but still
people want make believe. But they want to be able to feel like they're that person.
Yeah, you need that fantasy because that's the whole purpose. That's why you want to play the game. That's why you want to get into it, and that's why you immerse yourself in reading a book or playing a video game. So, I mean, that's just. But you need to have a connection to real life though to get there. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'd like to thank James here again for coming on the show. Everyone wish him luck as he departs, and we'll see you next week.